What is going on, everybody? Happy Sunday! Happy Sunday! How is everybody doing? Listen, you all. I hope you guys. Hope you all of my beautiful supporters. Hello, everybody. Thank you all so much for joining in on the conversation on tonight, everybody. We have an amazing conversation for you guys. Give it a few minutes so we can get some people in here. Thank you all so much for joining on the conversation. Listen, y'all, we have a really good topic tonight. We have film conversations tonight, where I am talking with creators, entertainers, actors, writers, directors in this business, in this industry, you all. Because listen, we all are here to grow each other, advance each other, to give advice and listen to wisdom and guidance, and just to feed off of each other. We all are in this thing together. So I hope everybody first have had a beautiful Sunday. I hope you all had an amazing Sunday. Well, I have a phenomenal guest who will be joining me on tonight, everybody, by the name of Rebecca. So everybody, we're going to go ahead and let me see if I can invite her in. 1 second. Sending you an invite now. So as soon as she get that invite, she's going to be joining on there. Oh, there we go. Hi, Rebecca. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Nice to meet you too. How was your Sunday?
It was good. I mean, I had some free time, and then I was just like preparing for this. I was really excited to meet you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Thank you first for agreeing to come on and have this conversation with me on tonight. We are having film conversations. So everybody, I want to give Rebecca. Yes, everybody, let's welcome Rebecca. Everybody, let's put a whole bunch of waving hands right there in the conversation.
Waving.
Let's wave to her, y'all. Let's say, hey, Rebecca. Awesome. So Rebecca, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the film conversation on tonight. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Awesome. Well, Rebecca, go ahead. Just let everybody know who you are.
Okay. Hi, my name is Rebecca Lian. Follow me on Instagram, Rebecca Lian. I do acting. I'm an actress. I do stand-up comedy, voiceovers. I'm a blogger. I have a YouTube channel. And I was born in Germany. I moved to Taiwan when I was 5, and I moved to America when I was 8.
Wow. Did y'all hear that resume? She said she's an actress. She does voiceovers, stand-up comedy. Oh my God. So look, let me ask you this too, because we're talking about entertainment, and all of this is part of, entertainment. So I want to ask, where did stand-up comedy come from? Like where did that come from for you?
For me, it was watching Angela Johnson and like her bit about like, the nail salon with the Vietnamese woman, and I thought it was so funny, and I would always like watch Netflix specials about different comedians, and I was like, I could do that, but I was deathly afraid of being on stage because when I was young, I got bullied, as an immigrant. Like I went to different, I grew up going to school getting bullied by different racists and Asian Americans, white, black. Like I just got bullied a lot, so it was really scary for me to kind of think about putting myself out there because I was scared that people would make fun of me. And so for many years I would actually write down jokes and put it in my phone, but I was just really afraid of getting made fun of. I remember in middle school I was in drama class, and my friend wanted like lotion, and then I gave it to her, but she screamed and the teacher yelled at me and not her. So, I was so humiliated and embarrassed, and like literally I was like, okay, I'm not going to be an actress. Like this is too scary because I don't like being publicly humiliated. And so I've had to overcome a lot of different fears. Like a lot of times when I go on stage, I say the most embarrassing things on earth, and then I get off stage and I start crying. Like I burst into tears because I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. People didn't laugh for like 5 minutes. Like I'm so embarrassed, So
Right. And you know what, Rebecca, firstly, I just want to say your story, and even though we're just getting into it and just listening to it, I can 100% relate because when I was back in middle school, I was in drama as well. And as for most people, well, not for most people, there are some people out there who didn't have the greatest of school experiences. I am definitely one of those people. So what I would do, because I didn't really eat lunch. I just hated my school's food. But what I would do is,
Oh,
yeah, I was like that. I was just like that kid. Yeah, I'll probably have a chocolate milk, but I'm not
oh,
gonna have nothing
I
else.
love chocolate milk.
That's why I got it. I'm gonna get the chocolate milk. I ain't gonna get nothing else. So what I would do is I would have a tablet. It's I had it was a composition book, a blue and a yellow one, and I would go to lunch and I would write down ideas and
Oh,
short
wow.
films and stories, and so just listening to your story, especially when it comes down to being bullied, I'm a big advocate on it because I was bullied for so many years in school, so I definitely understand that standpoint, and just how you took that, and you were still pushing forward, and you still became an actress even to this day. Even after back then, you was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to do this no more. It was just too much." So let me ask you, what got you interested in coming into this field of entertainment?
So I remember in middle school, I was like, I'm gonna be an actress, and then after I got yelled at, basically, I gave up and didn't really think about it until 2014. I was kind of going through like a really bad breakup, and I wanted to laugh. I got a community flyer in the mail saying like there's a comedy improv class, and so I just thought like, okay, I just need to laugh and I need to like be with people. So I went to the class and they were like, you have a really great look for commercial acting. So I decided to take a class, and like from there on I was just like, oh, I love this. But like in the beginning I got into like reality shows. I was on Married by Mom and Dad on TLC, and it was like not what I expected. But this
Um,
whole journey, a lot of it is, I think, also like, I'm Christian, so it's a trusting God, trusting God with the process, because a lot of it for me was like healing that wound of like my parents got divorced when I was 8, so I didn't see my dad for 10 years, and a lot of my experience in the industry is like healing that wound of the father wound, right?
right.
And so like even like the whole trusting God with marriage, right? Like going on that reality show, I had to trust God, because I remember him telling me like, you're not going to get married on the show, don't worry, just do it. But I was like, oh my God, I'm scared, like what if they pick me to get married, and so it was kind of a scary journey. But everything that I do is an act of faith, is just like, okay, like I feel like God's calling me to this journey, like let's do it, let's try. Yeah.
Right. And let me just say, big ups to you, because that takes a lot of bravery to to do a reality show like that. Because I've always wondered, just like what, like that takes a lot of bravery, like to say, hey, like even after the married, after the 90 day, type of thing. So, but you want to know what was so beautiful in that is hearing you. Acknowledge your faith, hearing you acknowledge, God. And because definitely, I'm a man of faith myself, and I'm a believer myself. And I do understand how critical, that can be, especially when you're in this entertainment industry, because it's a lot of ups, it's a lot of downs, it's a lot of, I'm not sure, it's a lot of things that teaches you a lot in entertainment. And
Mm,
if you don't have a solid foundation in anything, you kind of just going to be swayed back and forth, bent all up in some kind of way. But it's good to have that anchor, which I thought that was so beautiful. And listen, everybody, I am talking with Rebecca. So everybody, listen, she's an actress, she's a voiceover actress, she's a stand-up comedian as well. So go ahead, y'all. Let's put some comments down in the comment box below if you have any questions for Rebecca. But Rebecca, one thing that I found very interesting is that you went out on a limb and you did the stand-up comedy. And we all have our ways of distressing and kind of like,
yeah.
our outlets. So matter of fact, I want to stress this question to everybody. I'm gonna stress it to you, Rebecca. So to everybody watching, what are some outlets? What are some ways that you kind of do to kind of break away from everything, to kind of give you an ease, to kind of let your hair down, so I'm gonna address that to everybody first, all of our beautiful viewers. And what do you do to kind of de-stress from the day? If you had your real stressful day, what are some things that you do? So Rebecca, I want to ask you, what
Okay.
made you lean over into making stand-up comedy that outlet for you? Like, especially after everything that you've experienced.
I think like a lot of my life experience has been really like difficult, like growing up with a single mother, and like she was kind of mean and judgmental and at times condescending. So she would, like, I would tell her like, oh, I'm on TV, and she's like, that's not a real job, you know, like you need to like get a real job where you get paid, you know. And so like just like at one point I was like, oh man, like this is, I need to talk about the hardships I went through, and like learning how to confront my mother. Like I had a really hard childhood, and she struggled with finance a lot. So that's something that I kind of talk about in comedy. The thing is, for me, I always do improv when I'm on stage. Like I don't necessarily plan or look at notes. I just kind of say like what's on my mind, because I feel like a lot of what I've done is improv. Like I've done 3 court shows and all of them are improv. Like
Right.
the reason I do like reality shows is that I can say whatever's on my mind. A lot of the acting I've done is improv as well. Just because I feel like in life, a lot of times we don't feel like we're ready for anything, right? Like acting is about jumping and plunging yourself into the ocean and the water and just saying like, I'm not ready, but like I'm enough, right? Like, you know, like I'm not ready, but like let's just be in the moment. Let's just act or say whatever's on your mind, say a joke. Like acting and entertainment is about being in the moment and like saying how you feel.
Right. Oh my good. Listen, Rebecca, you just done said something just then. You said, I'm not ready, but I'm enough.
Yeah.
That is power. Everybody on here, did y'all just hear? Matter of fact, I want everybody to type "I am enough." Just write that down in the comments. I am enough. Because Rebecca, yes, because what you said was it was a testament, you know, because a lot of times in this business as being an actress or a creator, I call us artists, right? As being
Yeah.
artists, you know, we all sometimes we can be very hard on ourselves and we can critique ourselves a lot and be like our biggest critics. Like, you know,
Right.
oh, but I'm not ready to go through this door, or I don't have all of these accolades on my resume, or
Right.
look at this person and they got that and they got this. But we have to understand that we are enough. And the
Exactly.
doors that are going to open up for us and on our behalf and for our journey, we're already enough for it. We're just going to have to wait our time to walk through it, you
Yeah,
know?
I'm like impressed by you because you like, you know, you're a filmmaker that has won awards, and like also you're only 21 or something. That's like so crazy. That's like amazing. You know, I'm 34. Like I want to do more like short films. I want to do more films and TV, and like you've done that and you're 21. That's like so amazing to me. Like that's
Oh, wow.
blowing.
Oh, wow. Well, listen, Rebecca, I truly thank you. I truly thank
Yeah.
you. And, you know, I can't take all the credit. I got to give credit to the big man upstairs and, you know, having a strong support system, you know, my parents, you know, my family and everybody here, you know, that just have been amazing support systems. So, and I truly thank you for those kind words. Listen, you
Yeah,
just
of
made
course.
my
I was
night.
like, what an honor. Like it, I was like, wow, what an honor. Like I almost like sometimes I do feel like, I mean, I don't know if you go through this, but where you feel like a fraud. Like sometimes I feel that, you know, like even though I know like, okay, God, like I prophesy too, so like I feel like the Holy Spirit leads me to different projects to meet different people, and that's everyone is a divine appointment to me, you know, not like nothing's an accident, you know, and I just truly believe that like, okay, you know, God gave me this opportunity to talk to you, you know, so, and you know, you believe in God too, so that's pretty amazing.
Absolutely, absolutely. And listen, like I said, I truly thank you for those kind words. And
Of
listen,
course.
that'll tell you, leading with God, it will never steer you wrong. It will never steer you wrong. So
Dang.
let me ask you this, Rebecca. Who inspires you?
Who inspires me? Right now, my boyfriend. So
Okay.
like I mean, honestly, like we've gone through so much. Like I think because like my parents like were divorced, and I never really saw like a healthy relationship. And so I definitely like learning a lot through relationship, and just realizing like it's not like the whole Prince Charming story. It's not like Prince Charming riding on a horse and like saving you. It's really like a partnership where you have to learn to communicate with each other. And that's why I love like dating shows, and I actually love you know, those Netflix dating shows,
Right,
reality
right.
shows. Like I feel like in life we're not given enough opportunities to learn how to communicate.
Mm,
So that's definitely something I'm learning. Even in the industry, like I've had to speak up for myself, and I've been bullied even in the industry, and like spoken down to, and I've had to learn how to say, hey, when you said that, it really hurt my feelings. When you said that, like it made me feel judged, and there's not as many Asian Americans in the industry, and like I just heard about Constance Wu. She got sexually harassed by an executive producer, and I was really alarmed to hear about that. That
mm,
she can speak up for over 3 years about, you know, and that's just like it's so heartbreaking, right? So like
right.
I just think that we need to speak out and up and just say whatever needs to be said in the industry.
Absolutely. And you know what? You just made me a question just came to mind because now that I have you here, you're an Asian American actress.
Mm-hmm.
You come from a diverse background. You were born in Germany, and now you done worked your way up to now you're a working actress in this business. So I want to ask, what has your experience been being an actress in this business from all aspects, the good and the not so good? What have your experience been?
Okay, so I mean, I've had a lot of different experiences. Like some sets where I'm like, okay, I finally feel welcome. I finally feel heard. But then at times it's like I start to have different opinions, and then I start to feel like I'm being cornered, right, or bullied. And like before, I kind of just ignore whenever people talk down to me. I'm like, whatever, like they're just having a bad day. But it got to a point where, especially when COVID was happening, like I remember going to the crafty and then getting snacks, and then someone was like, oh, put your mask up. You're too close to the table, or you're too close to the food. And I was like, bro, like calm down, like I'm just trying to get snacks. And I just remember confronting him and saying like, hey, the way you talk to me made me feel like less than. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. Like I'm COVID, like I'm just being strict about health because I just want to make sure everyone's healthy. So I've had to speak up for myself because growing up in an Asian household, my mom would talk down to me. She would say, oh, why'd you put this here? You're drinking too many sugary drinks, and you shouldn't do this and you shouldn't do that. And it's like, growing up Asian, I've had to confront the fear of confrontation and say, like, even though I might get rejected by these people, I need to speak my mind. I need to speak what's in my heart.
And you know
And
what? Go ahead.
But otherwise, like I've had like really good experiences where I've met a lot of cool people, and like it's been a good experience. But like I said, a lot of discrimination.
Mm. And you know what? That is something that is not just an industry note, but that's a life note of what you
Mm.
said about speaking up for yourselves and believing in yourselves. This reminds me of a video that I just posted called "Bet on Yourself." And a
Mm-hmm.
lot of times we can be in places and just life and industry and being entertainment, and, just going through life. We get in
Right.
places where a lot of the trials and obstacles and different things that we face,
Mm-hmm.
it discourages us from believing in ourselves and for speaking up for ourselves because we've
Right.
had the weight of everything and everybody,
Right.
beating down on you to now you're starting to beat down on yourself essentially. But the fact that you come from a diverse background, are a minority,
Mm-hmm.
working in this entertainment business, and the fact that you have learned to know that you are enough. You are enough to speak up for what is rightfully yours, to go
Mm-hmm.
after it, which is it's honestly a beautiful thing. So let me ask you this. What
Thank
would you say, what would be your, if you had to look at it and you say, Rebecca, being in this industry, what legacy does Rebecca want to leave?
you.
What
Mm-hmm.
what impact does Rebecca want to make in the entertainment industry?
I want to give a voice to Asians or Asian Americans. And not only that, I want to tell my story. So, growing up with a single mom and like divorced parents, like I want to show people that even though they had financial hardships, maybe they had emotional hardships. Like I went through a lot of depression because my dad wasn't around, and I've been through 3 years of therapy. My goal is to share my story and show that like with God all things are possible. Not only that, but that you have a voice. Like even though you feel like you're small, you don't matter. Maybe you're young, or you think you're too old, or you feel like you're fat or whatever. Because like I literally got like bullied this week by like male acquaintances telling me that I gained weight and that I was fat. And it's just like, wow, like, you know, the enemy tries to bully you and tries to tell you that you're not good enough, you're too thin, you're too fat, like whatever it is. And it's just like, at the end of the day, you are enough. And that's like because of Holy Spirit in you, because who you are, because you're unique and no one else is like you. And God wants to use you and your voice and your story and all the hardships that you've been through, every single one of them. Like I've done like 2 documentaries about discrimination and racism. And I got to do that because I got discriminated against. So it's just amazing how the little, you know, even bad stories and negative experiences, they actually help you and give you that voice so that you can talk about it, and then other people can listen to your story and be like, oh my gosh, she went through it too. So like I can speak out, I can be an example, be a light, right? Don't hide it under a table, like put it on the, you know, on top of the table. And so that's what I've learned, that a lot of things that brought a lot of shame and guilt in my life, I now have a platform. And as I, you know, get more and more famous or whatever platform God has for me, then I can tell my story, and that story is going to change people's lives. So that's the legacy that I want to leave in the entertainment industry.
And my Lord, that is a beautiful legacy. Let me just tell you
Thank
something.
you.
That is a very beautiful legacy. And the fact that, you know, you hit on something that is so big, and I believe that for everybody that is a minority, whether you're Asian, Black, Indian, Hispanic, whatever, is representation. And that was
Yes.
very big. Representation in this industry, meaning stories by us for us.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Exactly.
stories, you know, for us by us, because at the end of the day, to me, it's not enough representation. It can never be enough.
Exactly.
It can never be enough because we are everyday people living everyday stories, going through everyday trials and tribulations and obstacles and just life. So representation is so important because, you know, every family is not the Cosbys. You know, every family
Exactly.
is not, you know, all the smiles and giggles. You know, you may have some crazy family members. You know, you may have some dysfunctional things happening in your family, and to you, you may think you're the only one because that, you know, you're just in your little, you know, your little circle. You know, you just think, oh, it's just me. This is just my experience. Maybe I'm the only one in the world going through this. But when you have other people speaking up and speaking out and saying, hey, this is my
Yeah.
story too, you
And
know, and
that's the
uh-huh.
thing too, is like I have relatives that I actually don't even like hang out with or talk to because they were so judgmental of my past in life. And sometimes, you know, like Joseph in the Bible, like you're gonna have to separate yourselves for a season and maybe come back together. But yeah, I mean, it's not easy, you know, being like, I guess, chosen by God to make a difference, because not everyone is called to that, and not everyone feels called to that.
Absolutely. And you know what you said too, which is also a big key point for everybody. Surround yourself with people that understand your walk.
Mm-hmm.
Surround yourself with people that understands your journey. And guys, we're gonna be wrapping it up very, very soon. But I want to hit on that really quickly because you that was a good point that you brought up, Rebecca. Surround yourself with people that understand where you're going. Because a lot
Mm-hmm.
of times when you have people who don't understand your walk, they don't understand the journey, they're looking at it from a different lens than you are looking at it. And
Exactly.
their vision is obscured because their vision is like, oh, why are they doing that? Or they may not fully understand, so their mind automatically goes to the negative.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's your walk, when it's your personal journey, when it's what it is that you chosen to do, and you know that in your hearts of hearts, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what brings me fulfillment. This is what brings me happiness. You know, this is what I have a passion and love to do. You need to surround yourself with more people like that, because you know what's going to happen. You guys are going to propel each other forward. You're going to propel each other forward. So,
That's
Rebecca, thank you so much for hitting on that. And Rebecca, I want to give you a recommendation. I don't know if you heard of them, but they're a production company called Wong Fu Productions. You ever heard of them?
Oh yeah, I've heard of them. Yeah, I have.
Wong
Yeah,
Fu
yeah.
Productions. I was literally going to say, when you was talking about, more stories, especially for Asians and Asian Americans, they immediately popped up in my mind, because I know that is literally their mission, and I know that that is what they strive to do. So it was just like, it was a thing that correlated, and this is why, and I'm bringing them up, guys, because this is why representation is so important. Because if there was no stories out there for Asians or Asian Americans, and their stories was not being told, I wouldn't have been able to say Wong Fu Productions, from the top of my head. So, but I just want you guys to understand, representation is truly important in this business, in this industry. So, guys, we are wrapping it up
Yeah.
for tonight. But before we go, Rebecca, I want to ask you to leave everybody here that is on the line today. I want you to leave them a few words of encouragement for their week. A few words of encouragement to uplift them until this other actor gets that next job, or this writer gets his next gig. Give them some encouragement.
Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I think like I want to share with you guys that I have been bullied in the industry, and I have experienced like even getting stalked by YouTube people, and like it's been a really tough journey, and there's been a lot of spiritual warfare. But one of the things that I want to share with you is that don't give up. If you feel like people are persecuting you and bullying you, you're going the right way. Because if you're not making a difference in the industry and in the world, then people wouldn't really care, right? But the fact that you're being persecuted does not mean that God is telling you to stop. It means you need to keep going forward and propelling yourself forward, and just not being alone. I think like one of the things I've learned in the industry is like find people that is going to back you up, that's going to talk to you when you're crying your eyes out, people who are going to be there for you, and like reach out for help. Like when you're struggling emotionally, mentally, reach out for help, and know that you are not alone. And like feel free to reach out to me too. Like I am someone that at times I feel down, I need encouragement, and if you want to talk, feel free to message me, and know that you're not alone.
Beautiful, beautiful words of encouragement. And listen, you all, I feel encouraged. I know you all should feel encouraged. So, Rebecca, really quickly, give everybody your social medias where they can follow you, where they can stay updated for your next project. So go ahead, you can give out your social media.
Okay, so my Instagram is Rebecca Lien, so it's REBEKKALIEN. My blog you can subscribe to is also RebeccaLien.com. TikTok is the same. And then I also have a YouTube channel called The Bex Show. So it's BEX Show. So make sure to subscribe, like, share. And I would, again, love to connect with you personally. So don't be afraid to DM me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Everybody listen, let's thank Rebecca on tonight. Everybody, just give her a round of applause. She's been amazing. And listen, I truly thank you so much for coming on here for Film Conversations. Listen, everybody, on next week, we will be right back here with Film Conversations, okay? Guys, we have an amazing guest on next week, so y'all just stay tuned for it. Just tune back in at 8 p.m. Eastern. Okay? Listen, everybody, enjoy the rest of your night. Rebecca, you enjoy your night. Everybody, love you all.
Love you too.
Absolutely. Everybody, enjoy your week.